This NFT just sold for $69 million. This NFT sold for $11.75 million. And this picture of a gray square sold for $1.35 million. What the hell are NFTs and why are people paying millions for them? NFT stands for Non-Fungible Token. And you're already wondering, what is fungible? Fungible simply means that a thing is one-for-one replaceable, like dollars. $1 is replaceable with any other dollar. Doesn't matter if one is crisp and new and the other is old and wrinkled. They're each worth $1. Or Bitcoin. If you have half a Bitcoin, it's just as good as any other half Bitcoin. It just means it's totally replaceable. But you know what's not totally replaceable? The Mona Lisa, or a painting by Picasso, or a 1992 Derek Jeter draft pick Topps baseball card, or a 2002 Shining Charizard Pokemon card. All of those are rare. There's an extremely limited number of them, and each one is numbered, unique, and has its own history. So, am I saying these JPEGs are like the Mona Lisa? That sounds absurd and arrogant. The Mona Lisa is a priceless piece of art, I hear you saying. Okay, but was it always priceless? And what makes it priceless? When the painting was made, it wasn't instantly hundreds of years old with immeasurable cultural cachet. It was just a portrait. When Van Gogh was alive, he couldn't even sell his paintings. Nobody wanted them. These things are valuable because we've somehow decided as a culture that they have value. They embody the culture. All right, but NFTs don't embody anything. They're literally unembodied art. Okay, if that's true, it's true of all modern culture, because our culture is overwhelmingly digital now. Everything on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, even major films and theaters aren't made on chemical film anymore. They're digital from start to finish. From the camera to the editing to theater projection and streaming into your home, all digital. Are those things not works of creative art? Yes, they're creative art, you might be saying, but why make them, I don't know, limited? Isn't the beauty of the digital world that you can copy stuff infinitely? No more scarcity, right? Well, sometimes it's good for things to be easily duplicated for some people. But in the case of art, you know who it isn't always great for? The artist. There's this guy, Mike Winkelmann. He's a graphic designer who lives in South Carolina. He's been making new, entirely original illustrations and short videos every single day for over 5,200 days. That's over 14 years for you counting. He posts them on Instagram and Twitter and other places online for free. They're insane and grotesque. They're hilarious. Anybody can view and enjoy these, and in almost all of that time, he could not sell them. What's he going to do? Get a sponsorship? Mike Winkelmann is not the Kardashians. This phantasmagorical and defensive art piece brought to you by Pepsi. It doesn't work. Think about it. This guy is a working artist who has committed himself to making something new every day. But because it was all digital, there was no way to sell it. All he could do was enrich Instagram and pick up a side gig here or there from the notoriety until now. Winkelmann, who goes by the online handle Beeple, sold a collage of his first 5,000 everydays at auction earlier this year as an NFT for, wait for it, $69,400,000.
I think it probably means digital art is here to stay.
I'm going to Disney World!
That's so stupid. People are paying that much for pixels? I've seen this stuff on Twitter, you're saying. They're cartoon apes and pixel bros. This is valuable to people? Artistic value is subjective. What you're objecting to is art, not NFTs. People said the same thing of virtually every modern art movement, from Jackson Pollock to Marcel Duchamp to Banksy. Andy Warhol would have loved NFTs. A lot of what we call art is just whatever crazy thing the artist comes up with. The craziness is the point sometimes. It makes you think and feel, like in your case right now, you might be feeling angry. Okay, fine, it's insane, but it's art. But who's buying this? And are they buying it for bragging rights? Well, cryptocurrency was the best investment on planet Earth over the last decade. So a lot of the people who are buying are newly minted crypto rich. You know, they've got some bread. And yeah, I guess you could say they're buying that for bragging rights. But again, how is that different from other works of art? Back to the Mona Lisa. It's just paint on a wooden board. Every rare Pokemon card and sports card, they're just cardboard and ink. There's nothing special about them physically, except the cultural value we put on them as artistic artifacts. That doesn't change when they're digital. We're just upgrading, welcoming the art world to the 21st century. You can buy a classic meme or a historic tweet or digital trading cards, which frankly feel quaint compared to the other weird stuff people are turning into NFTs. This all sounds pretty weird already, so what other weird stuff could we be talking about? Well, use your imagination. Have you heard of CryptoKitties? They're like digital pets, like Tamagotchi from the 90s. CryptoKitties were hot NFTs before most people had ever heard of NFTs. The way it works is you have a kitty and you can breed them with other digital kitties, and the offspring have a provably rare set of qualities. So some of them are super valuable. Okay, you might say, my Digimon from junior high is probably collecting dust in a box at my parents' house. Is that what's going to happen to NFTs? Maybe, honestly, yes for a lot of them. Like culture in general, most of it fades. But there will definitely be a lot of NFTs that have staying power and continue to be valuable and relevant. But here's where I think NFTs get really interesting. Let's pretend you're back in junior high again and you have a Pokemon digital pet. But now, let's pretend it wasn't just trapped on a 1998 device in your pocket. Let's pretend it's an NFT. NFTs are stored on a blockchain, which is almost always an open protocol like email. Anybody can use it, and anybody can build applications that interact with it. And the NFT is yours, protected by your crypto private key, just like your email is protected by your password. Still with me? Okay, pretend you could move that old Pikachu from your old Pokemon game into the new version of Pokemon. Pokemon has been released in dozens of different versions on virtually every gaming system, not to mention the skrillions of cards, physical cards that have been created. And now Pokemon Go is a thing, right? So now imagine that when you catch them all, you can actually own them. They don't just live on the Nintendo cartridge or the app or the physical card. With NFTs, because they live on an open blockchain, you own it because you own the private key, independent of anybody else, including the people who made it. And because you own it, you can do whatever you want with it. It's not locked in the game anymore. Or like, how many people have spent years playing World of Warcraft? And when the game drops in popularity and people start jumping ship for the next hot game, what happens to all that inventory they gathered? All of those weapons, potions, armors, etc. What if you could bring all of those into the next cool game? And because it's on a blockchain, you can do weird programmatic stuff with it. Artists can make it so every time they sell an NFT, a portion of the sale goes back to them. So they can decide the rules, and anybody who wants to buy it has to play by those rules. So an artist can make money from work they did years ago if it goes up in value and changes hands. That doesn't exist in the legacy art world. And it can get way weirder. What if instead of breeding CryptoKitties, you could have cat races? You wouldn't need permission from the people who made CryptoKitties. It would just be a totally new application for your existing NFTs. Or you could bring your CryptoKitties into Fortnite and play as a kitty. Or bring your Topps trading card into Minecraft and play as a blocky LeBron James. I'm just scratching the surface here. Some artists are pairing their physical work with NFTs, so they're essentially physical and digital twins. Fine artist Damien Hirst created a series called The Currency. There were 10,000 unique twins, each with a physical painting and an associated NFT. And after the buyers have owned the pair for a year, they have to decide which one they want to keep, the painting or the NFT. And the other gets destroyed. It's physical and digital and conceptual, and that's what makes it modern art. It's entirely possible that all art will have an NFT component in the future, if for no other reason than to have a tamper-proof record of ownership. It's all very weird. Part of me hates it, honestly, but that's because deep down I am a grumpy old man. But it makes sense when you leave your assumptions and prejudice at the door. So there you have it. Thanks, folks. See you again soon.